Today guys, you join us on the next 100 and this week we are down in Devon. If you head over to James Robinson's channel, you will see how we get on at Bovey Castle. But today we are talking about driving. If you want to hit drivers just like that one on screen, even going into the winter, there's a few things we need to think about when we're talking about what settings your driver comes in. And guys, if you are new to the channel, then welcome to the channel. You join us on the next 100 series. And if you are a regular viewer, guys, thank you very much for being a subscriber. If you are new, hit that subscribe button and help us on that journey to 50,000. But let's talk about what you need to do with your driver to make sure you're hitting the longest, straightest drives that you can, even in the winter. And today guys, we are talking about that Takomo Ignis D1 driver. So we have this in a 10.5 head. You'll see on there we have that in the neutral setting. But what I see a lot of times from people at this time of the year is the ball's not running as far. So we know that if you're getting a nice launch on your driver, you're hitting it out of the middle, but it's just stopping quickly. Then what do we see everybody do? Well, that driver quickly goes from 10.5 degrees, you move it down to 9.5, and you start to get a lower ball flight. But you've got to think about where you play your golf. At your home golf club, if you get a lower ball flight, that might be great, but it's not going to carry as far. If it doesn't carry as far and it's wet, then it's still not going to go as far. So we still want you to optimize your carry. I want you to get out here and go, okay, I've still got 10.5 degrees on my driver. Yes, it's not going as far as in the summer, but we know that's just because of the conditions. But if we start to tinker with that driver, what I start to see is people returning this club with maybe too much loft because they're trying to help it up, or we get a little bit of forward shuffling, and look what that does to the club face. That club face is already pointing towards the camera or to the right. So from there, we start to lose a lot of shots. We start to lose control. We're not getting that strike that we want. And if we lose the strike with your driver, we are going to instantly lose distance. We're then going to instantly lose shots, and your handicap's not going to change. We know here in the UK now, you can play a lot more golf and a lot more scoreable golf or competition golf through the winter. So we need to make sure that you're not changing just because of those conditions. And on the channel, in coming weeks, we are going to be talking about how to approach different shots if we are in these winter conditions, but off the tee, we shouldn't change. So just because we're in the winter, guys, now, and there might be a little bit more breeze, realistically there probably isn't more breeze, but you just feel like it is because it's colder, we don't want to start messing with that ball position. So I don't want to start going, well, I want to keep it down a little bit. I'm going to keep the loft on because Chris and a lot of people have told me keep my driver at the right setting. If I go back, what's that going to encourage us to do? Well, again, that's going to encourage that club face to be a little bit open. It's also going to encourage us to be hitting down still on the ball. That's not got to the bottom of its arc, so the club face is open. That's either going to get us hitting that dreaded top of the driver, and you might have some indifferent marks on that, or we're just going to lose the golf ball to the right. So once we've done that a few times, you might do that on the first hole, then what I'll start to see is going, okay, well, I just need to release that club a little bit more. So then we'll start to bottom out here, and we might have the one that quickly goes left. All your weight is staying back, we close that club face, or we might even hit the bottom of the driver. We might top that tee shot. And that's not what we want to do. We don't want to be guiding this. We just want to make sure that, okay, tick my boxes. So straight away here, I want to go a little bit left with my left foot, bigger step with the right, and that's just inside that left heel. And then from here, I want to feel like my upper body is angled back, so just get my right hand on the leg, down to my knee, and take my grip. You see there, I'm in a nice solid position. And from here, we want to make sure we are turning and getting our shoulder and everything behind that golf ball. So everything is behind that golf ball. I can now turn down and start to come back into impact, and you'll see I've got my hands ever so slightly forward or in line with the golf ball. My sternum's still angled back, but my weight's now shifted and my hips and chest are open to get that strike. But what we sometimes see is, yes, you might go through the checkpoints, okay, ball position's good, everything is there, and because you don't want the ball to go too high, we start to go this way. So we start to get our sternum over that left-hand side, and then where can we go from there? Well, if we just rotate, we're going to be hitting down and we're going to be smothering that golf ball straight to the left. Or the common thing we start to see is from this position, what do? Well, we do the opposite. We back up and try and help that ball into the air. So you're doing all things to try and stop the ball going in the air, but you're starting to lose all control of where that ball starts. And from down the line, if we go back to here, one thing that I start to see when people start to get into the winter, start to get into some more blustery conditions, is we start to get further away from the ball. Maybe that stance creeps a little bit wider, and from here we start to move off the ball. So yes, we want to rotate like we've just talked about, but we don't want to be swaying off that golf ball and then trying to lunge back into that. We also see if I'm further away from that golf ball, potentially that club is going to drop a long way behind because I'm reaching for that ball. From here, we know we're going to start to see potentially that comes over the top. Again, going to increase a slice chance, also going to maybe get you hitting down on the golf ball. Or if we stay around here, we just lose our ability to turn a little bit further, and from here everything gets a little bit stuck and we start to add a lot more loft to that. We lose club face control, but we are also losing what kind of loft we are putting on there. So make sure we go through those tick boxes, that I'm going to get my stance correct, I'm going to get my hands just hanging underneath my shoulders, and from there we know we can just hit the shot. And you see there, identical to the first shot I hit at the start of this video, straight down the middle, a solid strike. But guys, that's been the Next 100 series, and it's a massive thanks to Takomo and Seed in this series for supporting us to go and play all those fantastic golf courses with the money you would save from buying those clubs. So again, clubs coming in nearly half price of your premium brands, and golf balls half price. So think about it, in the winter, golf balls, what are you spending your money on? How much are you spending? Because we know, unfortunately, like we said there, a lot of golf balls could plug. You're getting them for half the price. We're getting a three-piece urethane ball potentially that ideally we don't want to lose, but if you do, it's not the same price as that Pro V1. As Dave knows behind the camera, he's thinking he's going to actually have to spend some money and get some golf balls from Seed, as he just asked which one should he have. He's obviously not being listening. But guys, hopefully you're enjoying the content. Get in those comments below, what kind of shots do you want to see us play for these winter conditions videos with our Takomo clubs, our Seed golf balls, and hit that subscribe button if you're not a subscriber, and I'll see you then.